The Galactic Federation had categorized planets based on their habitability for millennia. Class 1 worlds were paradise planets with perfect conditions. Class 10 worlds were hellscapes where only the most resilient microorganisms could survive. Earth was classified as a Class 8 death world, a term that made most species shudder. Commander Kell of the Mantodian elite forces studied the human sitting across from him with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The human Tom Davis represented Earth in this first joint military exercise between their species. 6 cycles of diplomatic relations had led to this moment, the first collaborative training mission between Mantodian warriors and human soldiers. Your accommodations are satisfactory? Kell clicked his mandibles politely. Tom nodded. Very comfortable, thank you. My team is looking forward to tomorrow's exercises. Kell's compound eyes gleamed with anticipation. The Mantodians were considered among the fiercest warriors in the galaxy. Standing over 7 feet tall with exoskeletons that could withstand plasma fire, they dominated battlefield after battlefield. Their military prowess was legendary. Yet something about these humans unsettled him. They seemed so soft, fragile even, with their thin skin and lack of natural armor. But intelligence reports claimed they were formidable. Kell was eager to see if the rumors were true. Before we begin official training tomorrow, Kell said, perhaps you would join me and my officers for recreation. We are curious about how humans relax. Tom's face brightened. Great idea. My team was planning some leisure activities anyway. You're welcome to join us. The next morning, Kell and 5 of his best officers assembled at the designated meeting point outside the base. The atmosphere was pleasant, about 85 degrees Fahrenheit with moderate humidity. For the Mantodians, these were ideal conditions. The humans arrived wearing strange attire, lightweight clothing, peculiar footwear, and carrying various equipment. We thought we'd start with a light hike, Tom explained, gesturing toward a nearby mountain. There's a beautiful view from the summit. Kell estimated the mountain to be approximately 3,000 feet high with steep, rocky terrain. A simple vertical ascent, hardly challenging for Mantodian physiology. Lead the way, Kell responded, confident. 2 hours later, Kell clung to a rock face, his multiple limbs trembling from exertion. The humans had not taken a direct route up, but instead followed what they called a trail, a winding path that sometimes disappeared altogether, forcing them to climb over loose rocks and navigate narrow ledges. One of his officers, Vix, had already turned back, complaining of joint strain. The humans seemed completely unfazed, chatting casually as they climbed. How much farther? Gasped Kell. We're about halfway, Tom replied cheerfully, making good time too. Halfway. Kell's antennae drooped in dismay. By the time they reached the summit, 2 more Mantodian officers had abandoned the hike. Kell and his remaining 2 warriors collapsed on the rocks, their exoskeletons hot from overexertion. Beautiful, isn't it? Tom gestured to the panoramic view while casually drinking. Sure. This is nothing compared to what we do for real fun, though. This was just the warm-up. Kell's mandibles clicked in alarm. After returning to base in a brief rest period, Tom invited the Mantodians to join them for water activities. They arrived at a large natural lake where humans were engaged in various inexplicable behaviors. Some sped across the water on small crafts, others disappeared beneath the surface for alarming periods, and some simply hurled themselves from high rocks into the depths below. We call this swimming, water skiing, and cliff diving, Tom explained. Standard weekend activities. You willingly submerge yourselves in dihydrogen monoxide? Vix asked incredulously. While not lethal to Mantodians, prolonged water exposure could damage their exoskeletons and respiratory systems. It's refreshing, Tom demonstrated by diving into the lake and emerging moments later, dripping wet and grinning. The Mantodians, observed from a safe distance, mandibles clicking in agitated communication among themselves. On our world, Kell explained, bodies of water are considered hazard zones. No sensible being would enter them voluntarily. Tom shrugged. Different strokes, I guess. Want to try the climbing wall instead? The artificial vertical surface the humans had constructed seemed simple enough. Kell, with 6 limbs designed for gripping, assumed this would finally be an activity where Mantodians excelled. He was mistaken. The humans had deliberately designed the wall to be challenging, with tiny handholds and overhangs that required not just strength but flexibility and problem-solving. Kel found himself stuck halfway up, unable to progress, while human children casually scrambled past him. "Need help?" A young human girl called down to him, hanging from the wall with just her fingertips. Kel's pride wouldn't allow him to admit defeat. "I am studying the wall's construction," he replied. The final activity was what the humans called a friendly game of basketball. The rules seemed simple enough, but the execution was bewildering. Humans crashed into each other, jumped impossible heights, and moved with unpredictable speed. After 15 minutes, the remaining Mantodian officers had retreated to the sidelines, watching in horror as the humans engaged in what appeared to be ritualized combat for entertainment. "This is what you do and for pleasure?" Kel asked, mandibles hanging open in disbelief. Tom wiped sweat from his brow. This is nothing. Wait till you see what we do in winter. Snowboarding, ice climbing, polar plunges." Kel's translator failed to provide meaningful context for these terms, but they sounded ominous. That evening at the officers' mess, Kel addressed his warriors. "I understand now," he said solemnly, "why Earth is classified as a death world. It is not merely the planet that is dangerous. It is that humans have evolved to seek out danger for enjoyment." Vix shuddered. "Their recreation would qualify as survival training for our elites. Tomorrow," Kel continued, "we begin joint military exercises with these beings. I suggest we reconsider our approach. We have much to learn from creatures who climb mountains for pleasure." As he spoke, alarms blared throughout the base. Kel rushed to the command center to find Tom already there, looking excited rather than concerned. "What's happening?" Kel demanded. "Weather alert," Tom replied, eyes bright with anticipation. "Category 2 storm approaching. Looks like we'll get to show you how humans handle extreme conditions." Kel's exoskeleton paled. "You mean evacuation procedures?" Tom laughed. "Evacuation? No way. This is perfect storm-chasing weather. Ever seen a tornado up close?" The room of Mantodian warriors fell silent, save for the soft thud of one officer fainting in the back row. Humanity, Kel realized, was not to be underestimated. Any species that considered natural disasters as entertainment opportunities was formidable indeed. Perhaps the Federation had been wise to seek humans as allies rather than adversaries, because who would dare challenge warriors from a death world who pursued danger as leisure?